Celebrity Big Brother isn't even over, but there could be already more on the way. We'll tell you what Julie Chen said. Plus, we're talking to Big Brother winner Andy Herren to get his thoughts on the game. Welcome to the Celebrity Big Brother After Show.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
This song makes me want to do the Roger Rabbit. You know, I can't do it right now. But
the best song. Like, this is a very underrated Kesha song.
this is a deep Kesha cut. This is a deep cut of Kesha's, isn't it?
Oh my gosh.
I never even heard. I mean, I don't
well,
know
now
her
you
whole
know,
catalog.
and it's great. Change your ringtone.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Hey guys, welcome to the Celebrity Big Brother After Show. I'm Bryce McLeay. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Bryce Advice. Sitting next to me is the great Morgan Willett.
Oh, well, thank you, Bryce.
You're very welcome.
I would just like everyone to know the highlight of the show tonight was Brandi calling James a D-bag on national TV.
And she doesn't care how many followers he has.
She does not care. But anyways, I do care about my followers. So follow me on Twitter at Morgan_Willett and Instagram at Morgan Lee Willett.
Also joining us tonight is Takira Shabrae. She is a new AfterBuzz host. We're so excited to have you. And you're a little bit new to Big Brother too, right?
I am, just a little bit, but I'm absolutely loving the season.
Good.
And like, it's digging me into other seasons, so that's the point, right?
And where can everybody find you?
You can find me, I'm Takira Shabrae, and you can find me on Instagram and newly to Twitter at Takira_Shabrae.
Awesome. Well, we are so extremely fortunate to have the winner of Big Brother 15, Andy Herren, is here with us tonight. Hi, Andy.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for coming. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you?
You can find me on Instagram and on Twitter just at my name, at Andy Herren, ANDYHERREN. Pretty simple.
Awesome. All right, yeah, before we get started, I just want everybody to, once again, we are covering tonight's episode, so if you are on the West Coast or Pacific Standard Time, just go away for a little while. And
or we're just going to spoil
spoiler,
everything for you.
Spoiler alert. So, Andy, first of all, as I said in the intro, Julie said that Celebrity Big Brother could become an annual event. So I'm kind of wondering what your thoughts are on this season, or what do you think about this whole experiment?
Yeah. I mean, I love Big Brother. I've loved Big Brother since season 3, and so the more Big Brother that we get, the happier I am. And so I would love it if Celebrity Big Brother became an annual thing. I think it would be great.
Were you asked to appear on Celebrity Big Brother like some of the other winners?
Nope.
Andy, it's okay. I wasn't asked back. Give or take, I was on a webisode, and you were on an actual season.
That's BS. Why are they not asking you guys?
Like, I mean, I know for my season, I think CBS just kind of want, like, it's funny that the only openly gay winner in the entire history of the show was on, like, the racist, homophobic season. And so I feel like they just kind of want to forget about my season, which is, like, a little bit of a bummer because, like, I didn't do anything racist or homophobic, so I'm just kind of like, it sucks that I'm getting punished for it, but, like, I get it, so.
Absolutely. I think it's BS.
I do, too. Andy, do you think CBS will ever kind of move past your season? Like, will they ever just get over it and be like, it happened, like, let's embrace the winner?
Mean, I truly don't know. Like, I feel like nobody from my season has ever been asked back to do anything except me. I came back right before season 16 and did, like, a live pre-show with Jeff Schroeder, and then, like, they've used my likeness in a couple competitions, but other than that, like, no mention of my season has ever been made. So I guess I should be thankful that they've even, like, kind of used me.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like you're super underrated, too, because you played an incredible social game, and you were lying low. You did a lot of different things, and it's frustrating to see someone that played such a good game not be recognized as much as, like, other people are.
Right. But yet again, I get it. It's like, I remember talking to the producers after my season, and I was just like, I feel like when season 16 premiered, I was like, oh, like, Derek played kind of similarly to me, where, like, no one knew that he was, like, controlling so much, and you gave him, like, this mastermind edit. You didn't really give me that. And they basically told me, they were like, Derek played on a season full of, like, nice, boring people, so we could highlight strategy. And you, like, played on a season of assholes who were always fighting. And so they were like, of course we're going to show the fighting. And so, like, my gameplay kind of, like, took a back seat, which, yet again, I understand, you know?
Right.
So Andy, question on that, because I know your season was really cutthroat and people were
controversial,
kind of more assholes to each other. And this season we see Brandi and James kind of going at each other, and James is just complaining that she's so mean to him and she's picking on him. What's your take on that? Is she being mean, or is it Big Brother?
I mean, I think it's like a couple different things. I think that, like, I mean, sure, she's being a little bit mean, but also I think James is being a little bit sensitive. I think James is probably used to just, like, everything being handed to him and everyone fawning over him, and he doesn't really, he's kind of like blowing a gasket when someone isn't doing that.
Right.
And it's like actually kind of refreshing to watch. I actually kind of respect Brandi for it. I like it. But yeah, I just think James is being a little bit too sensitive. But sure, like, I mean, Brandi's Brandi. She's always going to like speak her mind, and you just kind of have to understand that about her, you know?
That's kind of what we love about her.
But I also feel like James is kind of like phony and like kind of like superficial, and I feel like Brandi can suss that out.
Yep.
Morgan
and I like that she's like calling him out on it. You know?
I don't disagree. I agree he's phony and kind of annoying, but it's like you need
like
that
him.
one person that you love to hate, and I really love to hate James.
Yeah, I agree.
Whatever. I mean, so I guess like as you said, your season was very very controversial, and I was wondering, did you ever think when coming into Celebrity Big Brother that these celebrities would ever get themselves into hot water, like being on camera all the time, or do you think that they?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they are much more aware of like than the average person of like, don't say something stupid in the limelight, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think that they definitely have a higher propensity of not saying something dumb.
Yeah.
But yet again, I think just like, I mean, this is sounding like I'm knocking some of my cast, and I guess I am, but it's like a relatively smart person can get on Big Brother and not say something dumb. Like, it's not that hard. You should know that you're being videotaped all the time. Like, maybe like don't say something racist.
Or homophobic, or transphobic, or
You'd think it'd be easy.
Yeah. Right. Like I don't have like a racist or homophobic sense of humor, but I have a very dark sense of humor. And I knew to like tone it down. You know, when I was on the show, I was just like, oh, I can't say like the same jokes that I would say with my friends at home.
Right.
Because I don't want people to hate my guts. I mean, I guess they still did, but.
Oh, well.
Right. Oops.
Do you think that there's a chance that we would ever see a celebrity on a regular season of Big Brother?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, maybe if they did like an All-Stars or something, I could see like Shannon coming back. You know, she loves the show so much. I was watching her do an interview where she legitimately said that she would rather play in a regular season because that would be filled with people that actually know the game better. And she knows the game so well that it was frustrating for her to play with celebrities that didn't know it.
Right.
And so I guess in a scenario like that, sure, I could see it happening.
Well, I was going to say that's what I saw too. And it was just interesting to see. I wonder if, because we have talked about on this show that maybe we could see Shannon coming back in the future.
Right.
And would that be on, you know, another Celebrity Big Brother? Or would it be on a regular season or whatnot? So that's interesting that you take. But she was also, I want to talk about Shannon because she was also on The Talk with Matt. Actually, I don't want to get there yet. She was, and she said, whoa, slip. And she said now that she's caught up on some episodes, she holds even more resentment towards Ross and Marissa. So do you guys think as a super fan, should she respect the gameplay? Or
I have such a toss-up with that because as a super fan, like I want to shake her and just be like, I get it, like you're bitter because you wanted to keep playing, and I understand that, and I wish she was still in the house. But at some point, you have to like kind of sit back and be like, everyone has to play their own game, and I hope that she realizes that, and I hope it's not the case where it's a bunch of bitter people in the jury voting with their heart. I'd much rather see people vote who played the best game, not who lied to me and who backstabbed me, because in the end, it's Big Brother. Everyone's going to lie. Yeah. Everyone's doing what they can to get to the end, so I don't know what Meta's going to do. Meta's in La La Land. I don't know what Chuck's going to do, but I hope at least Shannon will come to her senses.
But those people at least, it sounds like everybody who's gotten out has said who they want to win, and it sounds like everyone is playing very emotionally.
And very much so. Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Like, it's kind of frustrating. I feel like I'm very conflicted on this as well. I mean, in one regard, sure, I think you need to like remove your emotions from it a little bit and actually understand the gameplay. You know, I feel like Shannon is a lover of the game, and she should understand that if Ross and Marissa got her, like she got. You know, you just kind of have to accept that. But in the same regard, I think that jury management is pretty important. And if Ross and Marissa made Shannon feel bad or upset her like in some way that she is feeling bitter, then maybe it's on them and she should vote for someone else. You know, I feel like you have to walk such a fine line when you're playing the jury like that. And you have to basically play a game where like you have to be cutthroat, but you have to make the jury want to vote for you in the end. And if someone doesn't make the jury want to vote for them, then maybe they don't deserve to win.
Yeah. Well, and sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, I was just going to say, you know, being likable is such a big piece of this show. And obviously, you know, Andy, you know that. I think that was kind of something that you did very well. Right. And that's kind of a field that a lot of people ignore. So, I mean,
I completely agree.
Do you think like right now that some of the players in the house are maybe not remembering that? I mean, you did it so well. What advice could you give?
Right. I guess, like, it just doesn't seem like I understood Paul last season. Like, I feel like Paul made it so personal and got so dark at times that I understood the jury being so bitter against him. But I feel like someone like Marissa is not, like, being a jerk to everyone all the time or making things super dark. And so I feel like if the jury's bitter towards, like, a person like Marissa, who I don't really think has been mean or has done anything super wrong, I don't really understand that. You know, I guess, like, yeah, and so if people are that hurt, I guess that's a little bit weird to me because I don't think that, like, Marissa or Ross are super malicious. But yet again, you can't help how you make someone feel. And I guess if the jury feels like that, the jury feels like that. But with me, I just remember consciously being like, I want to, like, when I address the jury at the end of the season, if I'm at the finale, I want them to know that, like, I really did like all of them as people, and I feel like they understood that. Like, when they were voting for me, I remember, I think it was maybe, like, Candace or someone, she was like, you backstabbed all of us and you lied to all of us, but you were, like, cute and nice while you did it, and so we're not mad at you. Like, you know?
I love it.
That's so good.
The way to do it.
Well, and also that kind of brings up another point that Shannon also said in another interview, because I've just been reading all about her. She said that people in the house are playing too dirty, including Ross and Marissa, who, in my opinion, are kind of steamrolling everybody, and they're flying under the radar. They're killing it, and they're planning. I just think that no one is paying attention to them. They're non-threatening, so they're. I mean, physically, so they're not being threatened. But I think that they're going to go all the way to the end. Anyway, she says that they are playing too dirty, quote unquote, too dirty. Can you play a clean game of Big Brother? That's what I want to know. With you two winners here, I want to know.
Andy,
I think it's hard. I guess maybe it's possible, but I think in a lot of situations, if you're playing with other smart, cutthroat people, you have to be smart and cutthroat. You know?
Yes. I don't think that there's such thing as a clean game.
I don't think anyone in the history of Big Brother has gone through the game without lying at some point. So, can you play clean and not lie? You know? So I don't think it's possible. I think you have to go into Big Brother knowing that's the game. I mean, give or take, like, I think about 19. Like, did they play? I consider that more of a dirty game.
19?
Yeah. Last season, with all, like, that was when it got personal.
Yeah.
I think that's when it gets dirty.
Like, that's the thing. Yeah, I feel like Paul's gameplay, and, like, I mean, I have to give props to Paul because Paul played, like, the card that he was dealt. Like, he was with a bunch of people that would do whatever he wanted and they listened to him. Yeah. But it made me feel kind of gross watching it. You know, like how he tried to turn everyone against Kevin and, like, shun Kevin, who was just, like, a very nice man, just to, like, put Kevin's spirits down and turn everyone against him so that they wouldn't keep him around. Right. You know, like, that wasn't fun to watch.
And Paul's strategy was so different from other vets going into that game, only because, like, if you're a vet, you would think you already have a target on your back, and granted he did, but he was like the life of the party, and yet, I mean, and he played it right into his hand. Very well. It's just interesting how different personalities can really affect the game. Like, even like Nicole, who came in and, like, laid low and didn't do a thing, and then ended up winning. As opposed to Paul coming in and being like, "Here I am, I'm."
It's the Paul show.
You know, so it's interesting. Takira, what do you think about a clean? Do you think you can play a clean game?
At first, I thought Ross was trying to, because he was flirting around. Like, whenever he got directly asked a question, he was like, "What? Oh my gosh, I'm appalled," kind of attitude. Yeah. So I don't. I think Ross is trying to, but ultimately, like Morgan said, I mean, you're gonna have to tell a little white fib. So I mean, it's gonna have to happen.
And even he was kind of backtracking. At least when Shannon was walking out the door, he was trying to sway her in her jury vote. Again, I just was reading a lot about Shannon.
Do you like Shannon or something?
I mean, I did. I did in American Pie. I mean, that was a long time ago. But
she played a good game.
She did.
You can't fight that.
I think for me, it was like, I feel, and probably you guys, it's just, I had high hopes for her. I think everybody did. I think
everybody did. Yeah.
I think everybody had really high hopes for her because she's a fan of the game. She loves it. And you just want those people to go far. But ultimately, you have to go in there and actually play it. You can't think that you're going to steamroll everything and be the best and know more than everybody else.
She got a little too excited. She went in straight ahead. No, go ahead, Andy.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, Ross and Marissa and Omarosa, it seems like they're, like, fans of the show. Like, Marissa even said she watched OTT, which is awesome. Woo! And, like, and, like, they've seen every episode. But I feel like Shannon was a legitimate, like, actual super fan who watched the feeds, Shannon was at the Big Brother like finale party that I was at after my season. That's where I met her at it. Like she
that's
she
cool.
loves Big Brother. Yeah.
Gosh, I wish I was
there. Question, Andy. I know you were a big super fan before going on to your season.
Right.
How hard was it? Like you see someone like Shannon or even my sister in OTT who love the game so hard they just go in their guns blazing.
Right.
Was it hard for you to like take a step back and be like, all right, I know the game. Like I can't. Did you actively think like, all right, stop playing. Like you can't play so hard.
Right.
See, I took a little bit of a risk at the beginning. Like I went in there and I realized very quickly, like in my everyday life, I'm a type A person. Like I like attention. I like the spotlight on me. But I realized when I moved into the Big Brother house, I was just like, oh, I'm with 15 other type A's. I need to just shut up and like let people come to me. You know, I didn't want to be seen like in like that first week, especially, I didn't want to be seen as super threatening. And so I did not make alliances with anybody. I just like sat there. I listened, I like interacted with people, I bonded with people, and I was like, I truly think that people will come to me and want to work with me after like a week of me really establishing bonds with them and not really talking gameplay. And I mean, granted, I got left out of a major alliance. Like there was an alliance of all men called the moving company that left me out. But as a result, that alliance played too hard too fast. And then everybody, like basically all of the women in the house and even a few members of the moving company came to me and were like, let's all work together and take down this other alliance. And I was right in the fact that like me just sitting back and seeming non-threatening, people were like, oh, this guy, like he's like a good ally, but he's never going to be like scheming against me. You know what I'm saying? I feel like my major asset was that everyone, like I essentially like underplayed my role in everything. Like every week I knew exactly what was going on, but I would play dumb. And no one really ever compared notes on me. And by the time they were out the door, they had no idea that like that I was like a part in their eviction, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think that like the superfan in me, of course, like knew that like I like would get the most screen time on TV and would be like the most like liked player if I was like going out there guns blazing and like being crazy with moves. But I was like, but the actual game player in me knows that like I need to just lay low and I need to seem non-threatening. And then like I feel like I wonder how Omarosa's endgame is going to go, like going into this final few days, because I feel like she's in a position that I actually think is very, very ideal. There are these three pairs, and then she's like the lone wolf. And that was the position that I like very, very strategically wanted to find myself in. So like I had Helen and Alyssa on one side and Amanda and McRae on one side. And I was just like, if I put myself as fifth wheel among these these two duos, everyone is going to be gunning for a duo. And these two duos are going to eventually gun for each other, and I'm right in the middle, and no one's going to come for me, you know? And so I actually think Omarosa might be kind of set up well.
I think Omarosa's playing a brilliant game, by the way.
Yeah.
But I think Mark is playing a similar game to what you are doing, even though everyone is like, whatever. I think that he is way smarter than we think he is.
I agree.
And I think he has been this whole time, and I think he's a much stronger competitor than we think he is. And all this other stuff. I did have a question just now that we're talking about BB15. When did you know that you were going to have to turn on McRanda?
I knew that I was going to have to turn on McRanda. I mean, I knew that I was going to have to do it soon, but then when I got nominated against Aaron, like basically we were both their two biggest allies, and I knew that Alyssa wanted to get rid of Aaron, but I just wanted to hedge all my bets and make sure that I was totally safe. And so that's when I jumped ship. That's when I formed the Exterminators with Spencer and Gina Marie and Judd, and I ensured myself that I knew that I would already get Amanda and McRae's votes to stay, but I really wanted to make sure that I got Spencer, Aaron, and Judd's as well. Yeah. And so that I locked down all 5 votes that I needed to stay that week, and then jumped ship with the Exterminators and turned on Amanda McRae right after that.
God, yeah. It was such a volatile time.
Oh, big brother.
But that was fun. That was good.
Oh no, like turning on them, like I always say, like I mean, of course, winning the game was very exciting and amazing, but the moment that was the most thrilling for me in my entire season was the double eviction where I got rid of Amanda and framed Alyssa for it. Like that took, it seriously took 15 years out of my life. Like that was the most stressed out I'd ever been in my entire life. And like, I couldn't believe I pulled it off, you know, but like turning on them, it was the move I needed to do though.
Would you say that that was the move, or is there another move that you feel like that was when you knew you won the game? Like, was there a move and you're like, I won?
Yeah, there were a few, like, I would say it was maybe a few weeks before that, actually. Like, I actually went into the season not thinking I was going to win. Like, I was just like, you know what? I'm, like, too nice for this. I don't know if I've got this in the bag. But then, like, maybe halfway through, I remember it was, like, around my first HOH, I was laying in bed one morning, and I was like, all that I do is lie to everyone all day and tell them what they want to hear. And nobody ever compares notes on me, ever. Like, I was just like, I think I can win this. And that's when, like, I, like, revved it up a little bit and was just like, okay, I need to, like, actually start really like getting a little bit more cutthroat and more diabolical now, because I mean, I was always in the majority and I knew what was going on, but I never really like, I never felt like I needed to like steer the ship. You know, I mean, the ship always steered the way that I wanted it to go. But like if someone was like, oh, let's get rid of Howard, I was like, okay. You know, like I would like unless it was one of like, but like I guess actually I did steer the ship a little bit because people would always want to get rid of Amanda, and I wouldn't let that happen. Well, but then like the minute that someone would say someone who I like didn't care about getting rid of, I would just go with the flow and get rid of them. You know?
Yeah, it's interesting. God. Going back to Omarosa and her position, I feel I feel like she has, again, I mean, I don't know why other people I don't know how other people do you know how Twitter feels about Omarosa? Because I think she's playing a great game, and I think that she's being underrated.
Very much so.
I think she came into it being very hated, and I think at this point everyone's realizing how kind of brilliant she is. Everything I've seen has been like, I am Team Omarosa now. Give or take, I think that happened maybe in the last couple weeks, but I think if she gets to the end, she wins.
What are people in the chat room saying? Do you guys like Omarosa? I mean, we'll look later.
Yeah,
but I kind of agree. I feel like it seems like the audience likes Omarosa.
They tuned in. I mean, speaking from somebody who is kind of drawn into this season, kind of new to Big Brother, we were drawn in obviously because Omarosa, Ross Matthews, like I mean that's something that drew us in, but. At first, we wanted to hate Omarosa. I mean,
it's a natural reaction.
It's a natural reaction. And now that she's just so manipulative, and honestly, James is your love to hate. Omarosa is mine. I love to hate that woman because, I mean, they talk about the power of the wink, for crying out loud. And the way that she's just so manipulative. And like you said, if she makes it, if she slides under like I think she is now, like Andy said, kind of just laying low, she'll win.
Well, even in tonight's episode, we saw that there's talk for them going after her.
There's no way.
That would be completely stupid because she's by herself. There's no one. She has no one. So there's be no reason to. But I did want to ask Andy. So I know you're pretty political on Twitter, but I wanted to know how you thought about.
I love your Twitter.
Yeah, we love your Twitter, by the way.
Thanks.
But I want to know how you feel about Omarosa bringing real life politics into the politics of the game.
I mean, going into the season, just as someone who, like I said, if you see my Twitter, you know how like anti-Trump, anti our current government I am, and like I like felt icky that she was like a part of it, just like a part of the show after being a part of that. But just like the things that she said on the show, like. I mean, like, am I just like falling under her spell? You know what I'm saying? Like, is she like winning? Because she's kind of winning me over with some of the stuff that she's saying, like how she's saying how like Trump is like a religious like crazy person, or I'm sorry, not Trump. How Pence is like a religious crazy person. How like Trump's tweets terrified her. Like she's saying things that like I agree with.
Yeah.
And so I like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know like if I'm falling under her spell or not, but I went from being like, ugh, gross, I hate that Omarosa is on here, to being like, do I like Omarosa? You know, like.
But I mean, do you think that she's using this as strategy, or is it all just crap?
Of course.
I mean, I think Omarosa is a very calculated person, but I mean, we've been seeing moments of Omarosa on the feeds and on the show that do seem like human and genuine, and so like Omarosa is a person, you know.
I mean, but speaking sorry, Andy. Question for you. Speaking at how calculated you just said she is, do you think that when she says these comments, she knows she's making headlines?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, and
like I said, she's saying things that like I agree with, and so I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm not that mad that this is a headline because Pence does seem super dangerous, you know, like.
Right.
And it seems like she got fired by, but she still supports Trump. That's my takeaway of it. Like, she still supports him, even though she kind of said that she wouldn't vote for him again. I don't know.
I don't even know.
You know what? I think she's holding on to that as a security blanket. I mean, because if you go back to her history, would we have even known her if Trump wasn't?
True. She wouldn't even be on.
No, she would not be on the show.
Yeah,
she would definitely not be on the show.
It's her security blanket, so she has to. It keeps her relevant.
Right.
It's just.
I'm definitely reading her book now, so she's doing a real good job.
Sell it, girlfriend.
Are you? Wait, you're read? Oh, you're gonna read it.
Yeah, I'm gonna read it when it comes out. Now I'm
like you're currently reading it.
She sent me a copy because
she sent you the unauthorized or the
because she realizes that she lied about her being the only all-girl alliance, so she sent it as I'm sorry.
Right.
Oh,
it's fine. I'm not bitter.
No, not at all. It doesn't sound like you are.
Doesn't show at all.
So tonight we saw them talk about that there had been no showmances, And I know that, Andy, you love showmances.
Right, yeah.
No, I want to know why you hate them, actually.
I mean, I just think that, like, they take away a lot of... I watch Big Brother for the strategy. I've always watched Big Brother for the strategy. And I think that when a ton of footage is given to showmances, it just, like, takes away from the actual gameplay elements.
Yeah.
And it frustrates me because that's what I like to watch. Like, this past season... I don't care about Mark and Elena. I don't care about Jess and Cody. I don't care about Matt and Raven. I want to, like, watch gameplay. And I feel like it focused so much on showmances. Like, half the house was in them.
Everyone was crying.
Right. And so it's just, like, give me one per season. But now I feel like they're casting for it, and we're getting, like, 3 or 4 a season, and I'm over it. I don't need that much showmance coverage.
Well, do you think now with social media playing such a big role, like, I don't know how big it was whenever you were on, but now it's huge. Do you think people are now looking for showmances, knowing they get to be Jessica and Cody, and they get to go on The Amazing Race and, like, get all this stuff? Are we ever going to see a normal season of Big Brother again?
Right. No, I mean, I genuinely think you've got a point there. It's like, I feel like people, like, there are people that get put on the show that want to be famous, and that's, like, a bigger role. Like, that's more important to them than winning the show, or, like, than, like, you know what I'm saying, than, like, being a good game player. Like, it always makes me so mad. I can deduce very quickly every season who I like and who I don't via the preseason interviews. When they're asked, would you rather lose and be loved or win and be hated? And anybody that says lose and be loved, I'm like, no. No. And so I, like, instantly dislike them because I feel like it's a game where you should want to win. But yeah, I mean, and it is interesting because I feel like social media, I truly think that it genuinely blew up after my season. Like, I always say, like, my friends always love to give me a hard time, and they'll look at, like, my Instagram or people from my season's Instagram, and we each have, like, 20 to 50,000 Instagram followers, and then people from, like, every season after us have at least 200. And they're just like, why do other Big Brother players have more than you? And I'm like, Instagram wasn't that big when I was on the show. If I was on it 1 year later, I would have 200,000 Instagram followers. Like, but also I don't care that much.
Right.
But it's just like, what I'm saying is, like, I think it really blew up. Like 2014, I feel like was the year, like Big Brother 16, especially with, like, Frankie being on there and being such a social, like, media person. The show really blew up after that.
That is a really interesting thought because. And, like, I've had conversations with you and some other people that, like, and not to name names or anything, but I mean, that's now people are, like, almost staging, like, even if you're friends with someone, like, if you're on the same cast and you'll take a picture together and then it'll get you more followers. And then it's like, I mean, it's all like this cyclical, gross kind of, I mean, it's not the right, it shouldn't be the way that you play Big Brother.
Agreed.
Right. I completely agree.
But it's interesting that you have seen kind of the evolution of social media. And so whatever. It's really just kind of disgusting. But who would you say helped you the most in your season getting you to the end? Because you obviously didn't have a showmance, but who would you say helped you?
I think it's a combo of a few people. I think I really, really needed Amanda and Helen in those early days. Like, the first half of the game, Helen and Amanda, I mean, basically Helen and Amanda were like my meat shields, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I would go out there and I would gather all the information that they needed. I would feed them that information, and then they would go get the work done, you know? And, like, that's what I wanted. I wanted Helen and Amanda to get all the credit for everything, and I didn't want any because that meant that people were going to go after Helen and Amanda and not me. And so I feel like Helen and Amanda propelled me to the middle of the game. And then I truly think that Spencer was, like, my secret weapon, like, for the middle of the game on. Spencer, not only did he, like, one thing that my season, like, the edited TV show never showed was how close Spencer and I were. Spencer was, like, my best friend in the house all summer. And he, like, kept me sane. Like, we would just, like, talk about life and, like, talk about things. And he kept me, like, calm and sane. And he was, like, an ally that I feel like was also kind of always a shield in front of me. Like, he was always going to get nominated over me. You know, like, people thought of him as such a pawn. But he was someone who he really was such a good ally. And I guess Gina Marie as well. I mean, Gina Marie is someone who I always say, like, Spencer and I bonded because we have a lot in common. Gina Marie and I legitimately have just absolutely nothing in common whatsoever. But, like, she just, for some reason, took a liking to me, and I trusted her so much. Like, she, like, within the first couple weeks, she was like, you're good with me. Like, I'm always going to have your back. And I was like, I think she will. And so, like, I remember going, like, I just, like, always have to say, like, she has such a big spot in my heart. Because going into the finale, I remember we had to, like, tell the producers going into it, like, the day of the finale, like, if we won the final HOH, who we were going to take with us. And I went in there, I told them I was going to take Gina Marie. And then, afterwards, I asked Gina Marie, I was like, were you going to take me? And she said, yes. And I just, like, wasn't totally sure. I was like, is she lying to me? And then I asked the producers, I was like, was Gina Marie really going to take me? And they were like, yes. Like, they were like, Gina Marie knew she was going to lose to you, and she was still going to take you to the end. And I think that is so crazy. Like, that is just like, that shows like what a good heart she has. And I guess like it makes me wonder if mine is not as good, because I would have cut anyone if I was playing with like my mother, my best friend, like I would cut them to win. And so like, she wouldn't have done that for me. And I mean, I have to give her credit for that, you know?
Right.
Oh.
Well, bring it back to Celebrity Big Brother, and we only have, what, like, less than a week left, and there's still 7 people. So they kind of told us, there's a double eviction, and then there's 5 people in the finale episode, which I find absolutely insane.
Crazy.
I wanted to get your take on it, and how do you think they're going to structure and do this finale episode with 5 people?
I have absolutely no idea. Like, your guess is as good as mine. Like, I mean, I guess they could somehow eliminate 3 people right off the bat, but I'm thinking it's going to be more something like, it'll be like a final competition among like either 5 or 4, and then the winner of that will get to choose like who sits next to them maybe. Like if it's like 4 people left, and let's say Omarosa wins, and she can pick between like Marissa, Ross, and Mark. Like out of the 3 of them, she can eliminate 2, and one of them gets to sit next to her or something. Or maybe there's going to be a final 3.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think America's going to vote.
I think America's going to have some kind of say.
But then, like, why is there a jury, though? They keep saying that, like, everyone's going to come back as a jury, you know?
Yeah, I don't understand. I'm perplexed why there was not 2 double evictions.
Right.
But, I mean,
there should have been an eviction at least tonight.
I agree. Like, do an eviction.
What they wanted is, like, they know that, like, people are, like, each celebrity has their certain fan base, and I'm sure they just wanted to keep as many around for as long as they possibly could. But I feel like it's going to result in a little bit of a messy finale, probably, right?
Right. Like, how are they going to fit all of that in? But I guess
in 2 hours.
Right. In 2 hours, let's get rid of what?
3 people.
3 people, and then name a winner.
And well, not only get rid of 3 people, also then have jury questioning, final speeches. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, what?
Yeah, and it's probably a 3-hour show.
Yeah, in reality.
I mean, really. I want to go, but I want to talk about Brandi, because we know, and her question bombs.
Oh God.
Let's start with the Twitter game.
Oh my gosh.
Which doesn't seem fun at all. That seems like not a fun. So explain this to me, or can you guys explain? Because I don't understand.
It's kind of like if they have a question, a dying question that they want that person to answer, and they're kind of too afraid to just be like, hey, is this true? Or hey, did you do this? They kind of find this awkward, weird way of creating this person that asks the question. So I mean, it's really dumb. It's like, oh my gosh,
makes absolutely 0 sense.
No sense at all. I mean, because it doesn't even come out right. It comes out like them just asking the question. So yeah, it's completely.
I just want to know. Do you guys think Brandi is being smart in these? I mean, she's known for like the Housewives, like I get that, and she's known for calling people out, but in Big Brother, it seems like, so she calls out James for making a deal with Omarosa. We just saw her. What did she do? She called out
Mark.
She called out Mark.
And
I think she called out somebody else in the span of 2 episodes. So is this a smart move, or is she just furthering herself to the block?
I do not think it's a smart move. I think Brandi's a goner. I think she will probably be gone in Friday's episode.
Which is too bad.
I agree with that, and I think she's digging herself a hole, and I don't know if alcohol plays a question. I kind of think and hope it does. But for me, I'm thinking about these house guests, and they all want her out so bad. But if I was them, wouldn't you keep her around? Because she's pissed off so many people. If you're sitting next to her at the end, you get the vote. No one's going to vote for her. So I'm like, why is everyone wanting her gone? Like, I agree.
It's like, take out like a Marissa who everybody likes, or like a
or
Ross
even
who everybody
Ari,
likes.
who like Ari's been so
with
sweet to everyone.
Yes.
Like, if you're gonna get rid of the duo, wouldn't you go for Ari?
And Ari is strong. Like she plays it very well. Like we were saying before, if you kind of just lay low, like those are the people that you get forgotten about, and then they last to the end. And Ari knows how to twist things and get people on her side very easily.
And also, James is so stupid for not working with her and also not hooking up with her. Like like seriously,
oh my God, they would make beautiful babies.
But he's so stupid. Why is he going after her? Just because she's aligned with Brandi, that is like he could have another side of the house, and that's a perfect way in. She obviously kind of likes him, I think. It doesn't make any sense.
I thought that was going to be a showmance, to be honest. But
you know what? He might be an idiot, but he might make it to the end and win, Bryce.
I don't really care that much about James, so I mean,
me neither.
You can like.
You're not part of Maslow's army, is what you're saying.
I need to be. I need to go listen to his single that he plugged.
Oh my god.
A long time ago. But I don't know. I feel like Brandi would even be better I would much rather be sitting next to Brandi than Omarosa, whatever.
Oh.
Omarosa, Hardo, because Omarosa would is gonna twist everything around. She's gonna know exactly what to say,
right,
to make the jury sway, like what she did and all the backstabbing.
Well, no one's gonna be able to beat her speech. Can you imagine?
Oh my God.
No, she was a communications director for the White House.
I'm telling you, like. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I see, like I said earlier, with like the position that she's in and the position I was in, I see a lot of similarities between her and me when we were on the show. And like, it's just like, I was baffled with the fact that I did not hide the fact that I was a public speaking teacher while I was on the show. And I was just like, how on earth are people letting me get to the end?
I know.
I'm gonna wipe the floor with anybody.
That was so dumb.
If I get to the end, and like, I'm not even being cocky. It's just my job. Like, if I don't wipe the floor with everybody at the end, I suck. Like, I should be able to,
you'd be embarrassed by yourself. You'd be embarrassed for yourself if you didn't do something. Okay, Morgan, I know that you had some really strong feelings about the twist, the veto twist that happened. I feel like we have to talk about this. I mean, even though it's so...
And Andy, I want to get your opinion on this too. Well, one, I think that was the stupidest twist in the history of twists. I am convinced that the producers rigged that. I don't know, because every poll I looked at before, that twist or whatever, the VIP one wasn't winning. And
okay,
then
just
all
so
of
you
a
know,
sudden,
it was a spotlight. VIP
and a diamond.
Okay.
But everyone was like, oh, like I think diamond was the highest in the polls. Then all of a sudden, this one gets picked, and then it completely fails. Ross doesn't even use it. They should have just had him win a normal veto, and he would have pulled himself off. And then it's like,
waste.
But what did the VIP veto do? Because it got screwed up because of Meta. But what would it have done?
So Ross had the option. He took himself off, and he could have then, in turn, took Brandi off as well. So he could have done 2.
And made Omarosa.
And then she would have to nominate 2. Okay. But instead, he just didn't take Brandi off. So it's just a complete waste of a twist.
I see.
Yeah.
Very much so.
It was a huge bust. I mean, the fact that Meta quit just ruined everything.
Well, that's what I was saying.
It had potential to be a lot of fun and to be like interesting, but like, oops, you know.
Because they had so many. Mark was going crazy. James was going crazy. I mean, Ross was trying to come up with this intelligent twist. I mean, it was going to get so good, and we were all about to grab our popcorn, and then Meta decides he can't last under 6 days.
Well, and I keep asking this question to everyone. I mean, you're probably so sick of me asking it, but I just want to know how you feel, Andy and Takira, because I didn't like the fact that Meta was on the show. I thought that he is very entertaining, and I like him, but I think that it was a waste of a player because look what happened, number one, but he didn't know the game at all. I'd rather have someone who is a fan, who knew what they were doing, that was actually there to compete.
Right.
So I don't know. I want to know how do you feel about that, Andy?
I mean, I think they should have told him when he was in sequester and he refused to watch the show. They should have been like, okay, you're not doing it then. We will find someone else. Like, he wouldn't even watch it. Like, he didn't know how the show worked, which is so crazy that he went on. Like, I don't know, like, I'm very conflicted on him because I really do think that he seems like a really nice person. Like, everyone just loved him so much. He's a good guy. But it's just like, if you are going to like disrespect the game that much, like, then you shouldn't get to play it. You know, there are so many people that like it and care about it. And like, when I see things like that, I'm just like, okay, like I never felt like I could totally root for him knowing things like that, you know, or like how he like didn't even know how to vote the one time, you know, like I remember last season, on season 19, like everyone would always be like, oh man, Alex is such a super fan. She's a genius. She loves the game. And I was like, she went into the diary room and voted wrong once. Like,
but she's a super fan, guys.
Yeah, she's a super fan. And I was just like, anybody that does that, like, loses my respect.
Right.
And Meta was like a prime example of that. And so I agree. I think that they could have had a much better casting choice than Meta.
Yeah, I agree too.
So Keisha too. I feel Keisha, even before going in, she was like, I won't lie, I don't really care. Like, I was just like, get her off here too.
Yeah.
Like,
she also said, didn't she say in an interview that she said, if it gets too much, I'm gonna go. Like, she said that in...
It's like 3 weeks.
Yeah, and she knew ahead.
And
she knew
and especially Meta. I was like, Meta, you had 6 days left.
6 days.
No, and not only did he have 6 days left, he's gonna have to come back for the finale, so that takes 1 day off. He had to do press for an entire day. That takes another day off. Yeah. So he had 4 days. 4 days. You couldn't man up. Like, seriously?
That on the other side, on the opposite side of the. Oh, sorry. Did you? I'm sorry.
Oh no. Ask your question.
No. I wasn't
No.
gonna ask a question. I was just gonna talk about myself again. I just wanted to say that on the opposite side of that, speaking about 19, I felt like everybody was a super fan on that show, and it's like that kind of takes you out of it too, because it's like you want to kind of root for somebody who you want to root for the people that are the underdogs that are maybe just coming into the game, and or just discovered it and really like it, but they haven't watched every season from 2001 and on, or 2000, excuse me.
I
Sorry,
agree.
CBS.
I think it makes it really interesting. I mean, like kind of like what Andy said, he did kind of disrespect the game, but I want to see somebody that's completely a new fan. I maybe seen a little bit of the show, enough not to disrespect it, but I also don't want every single person to be a super fan, to be honest.
Like Morgan's a really good example of that.
I very much agree with that. I feel like I think a lot of super fans actually tend to be boring game players because they know what to do, and they'll like lay low and they won't make big moves. I mean, I was not a super engaging person to watch on the show because I knew it so well. And it is fun to watch those people who don't really know it and will like throw the grenades in the game and make the big moves. the big stupid moves, but like the big entertaining moves.
Right.
And so I think like for sure put in people that don't know it very well, but someone that refuses to even watch it at all, like, no, I don't like that.
You know they're going to disrespect it. Well, and then question for you guys, say, and I've even thought about this, if you were Omarosa or who was the HOH when Keisha left? Ari?
No, Ari was Ari got Shannon out.
Ross, was it?
Ross,
yeah.
So say you're HOH and somebody wants to go home. Nope. I mean, even I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, it's my HOH. Nope. Like, would you guys let them, or would you be like, nope, I'm not renomming you. Like, I'm going to put someone else up and get out my target. Or do you take the easy route and be like, well, like, I guess you can go. I mean, that's a tough situation.
No, I wouldn't. I would, as HOH, I mean, you have kind of that power of the house. So if somebody comes up to me like, oh my gosh, it's really, really tough, I'm like, well, go home. I would try to steer them in quitting. Obviously, that might not be the choice because they get a payout if they get evicted. But I would do that. I wouldn't send you home. Go home next time. Quit next time.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be
I guess it just depends for me on how valuable they are to me. Like, if one of my biggest allies wants to go home, then I'm going to be like, no, you cannot do that. But if it's someone that I don't care about, then sure. You know?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. For my honest answer, I think with Big Brother is different. Who was it? Who were we talking to? Was it Rachel that said, or somebody was saying how these celebrities are so aware of their outside surroundings. They know how to. They know that they are that what they are in talks with each other. Like they're in the same industry. They're in the same business.
It affects them outside.
It affects them outside of this house. I think that if it's on a regular season, absolutely no. Like I would be like, and I think I agree with Andy in the sense that if it was someone who was a big ally to me, no, absolutely.
Right.
But with this, in this instance, if you were an a-hole and didn't let them, then it may
a D-bag.
Yeah, a D-bag. It may cost you. I don't know if
that's true.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would actually happen, but I just am. I have a feeling that might be.
Right.
I agree with that statement.
Part of something.
I think that's why we haven't seen the Showmance, and honestly, I'm kind of in Andy's boat. I like that we didn't see the Showmance because the celebrities kind of surprised me at their strategy and how, like trying to really win. So
about time.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm over the Showmances.
Okay.
Right.
Easy.
Bryce loves the Showmances.
I love the show. I actually don't care either way, but I just like to tease Morgan because she's like, I don't want a Showmance. I don't want to see one.
When does Showmances ever win the game? I could be very wrong, but
Rachel.
I mean,
Rachel.
Nicole.
That's true. Okay, so few and far between.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd rather not risk it, but whatever.
Okay, so I want to go back to Meta. So he told TMZ that he didn't know who Omarosa was before entering the house. Do you guys believe that?
Whatever.
Yes.
Okay. Being I don't. I think he's playing. I mean, I'm half black, so I can speak on this. you know, Black Twitter, black community. We know who Omarosa is because I mean we keep eyes. It's kind of like a traitor in our eyes. You know, you're traitors. You keep your enemies close.
Right.
He knows who she is.
Well, and he was also on the talk, which I tried to conceal earlier, and he said he told Shannon that he's so competitive. Because she asked why they didn't align together. I think there was some sort of question about that. And he said he was so competitive that he didn't want to align with Shannon because he respects her too much.
That makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, his whole time on the show, he hasn't really made a lot of sense. Like, he was asked, I believe, on the talk or in the interview with Julie, correct me if I'm wrong, but he was just like, oh, would you ever want to play again? And he was like, yeah, I'm really competitive. Of course I'd want to play again.
Yeah,
I'm like, you just quit.
Why would you even ask that question? Like,
do you want to play again? You just quit the game, but let's put you back in.
And not only, like, but he said yes, like, which made it so absurd. I was like, huh?
Oh my God. I think he didn't really understand how Alliance worked.
I don't
Probably
think he
not.
understood anything.
Probably not.
Right.
So we see that at the end of this episode, we see that Ari and Brandi get nominated by Mark, and I just want to know, what is the benefit of keeping Omarosa in this house, as opposed to breaking up these two?
She's alone.
Yeah.
She has literally no one.
She does not have a vote. She can't sway anyone. But well, actually, no, I take that back. She can sway people. I mean, we saw how quick. I mean, she's on the block, and then all of a sudden, HOH. I mean, like, we saw how quick she can sway. I think they should have taken her out only because of that, because they're so easily, like, weak-minded that they're falling for her tricks. But she's playing it smart, so.
But it's like, I guess at 7 still, like, I can understand keeping her in just because, like, you do have 3 duos. Like, maybe break one of them up, but, like, get rid of her within the next few, you know?
Right, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they all have to go. It's not, I mean, like, if you're thinking strategic, like Mark said, it's like they all have to go. Everybody.
Right.
If he wants to, like, say he wants to win.
Right.
Okay, so shifting gears a little bit. So casting is now underway for BB20, as you guys probably heard. But so Morgan, what advice would you give the hopeful house guests?
Oh my gosh, I actually just filmed a YouTube video on this.
Oh, so don't spoil.
No, but I'm
it.
gonna give a tip. I'm gonna give a tip. I was really bored today, so I was like, whatever, I'm gonna make one. Don't judge me.
I think
my
every
tip.
eye is judging you now.
Right.
My number one tip would be so exaggerated. I always say that is. Everyone goes in there and like, oh, I'm just going to be myself. And I'm like, yes, 100% be yourself, but be yourself on crack.
Yeah.
Like, literally take every single quality you have. You're funny, you're sensitive, you're emotional, and up it 100 and then audition.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they want these big personalities, and you have to stand out against 100 other people or a million other people. So just be yourself, but up it.
Right.
If you're annoying, you're doing it right.
Yeah.
Andy, what do you think?
agree. No, I agree with that. I definitely. They can tell if you're being phony. Like, don't be too over the top that you seem phony, because they can tell. But I totally agree with be yourself. And then I just feel like you know, like, some of the things that they want to hear. Like, as you saw on the show, like, I am conflict aversive. I never fight with anybody. Like, in everyday life, I don't either. Like, I don't yell at people. I will, like, unless I, like, feel very strongly about something, I will, like, back down in an argument. And I remember they were like, are you willing to get, like, bitchy if someone comes for you? And I was like, yeah. Like, I'm like, no, I'm not. But, like, things like that. But at the same time, like, I really did feel like I was, like, true to myself. And I definitely, like, knew my role on the show. Like, I knew that I was someone who, on paper, I fit, like, the criteria of someone who would do very well. Like, I had a master's in communication. I did improv comedy, so I could, like, think things up on the spot very quickly. And I was like, I look like I do. Like, I'm just like a teeny little gay guy. And I was just like, no one will see me as threatening. And that's kind of the angle that I went with. You know, in all of my interviews, I was just like, my pedigree is amazing, but I look like I do, and everyone will underestimate me. And that's basically how I won, you know?
Yeah. That's a great advice. Great strategy.
Yeah.
Would you ever do another reality show?
I mean, it depends on the
competition,
show. Like,
I guess.
Like, I feel like I would be absolutely terrible on Survivor. I would just waste away to nothing after like a week and want to quit. But and then I think like there are now like Big Brother people on the challenge. I think I would also be terrible at that, because if I ever had to like go to a duel against someone, they would just rip me in half. But like I think I'm very calm and collected under pressure. Like I think I would do great on The Amazing Race. And I would like. I mean, I don't think I will probably ever get the chance, but I'd play Big Brother again in a heartbeat. Because the first time that I played, I wanted to win, and I was just so stressed out, and I didn't have fun. You know, I was always on edge. And now after winning once, like I feel like I don't have anything to lose. And so I would go back and like this time, like if someone was being annoying or said something stupid, I would just keep my mouth shut. This time I would be like, "You're being annoying. Like stop."
Would you try to win the second time though?
Like, because I could never play like I did before. You know, people already know that I'm like sneaky, and so I would have to like tailor my game and be a little bit more aggressive, I think.
Yeah.
So, although you never know, I also truly think Big Brother is all about adapting to the environment that you're in. Yeah. And so I think that is like when I give people advice on how to win Big Brother, that's my number one piece of advice. It's be adaptable. Like whatever, like however the stream is flowing, be able to go along with it. You know.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Okay, so Andy, before we let you go, who is winning this game? Who do you think's gonna win? It's a long. You can have a couple guesses. It's like 7 people. So
the thing that I truly love about this season right now is that I genuinely don't know. I don't think that Brandi is gonna win. I don't think that James is gonna win. Sorry,
Morgan.
Sorry, Morgan.
Yeah, I would say maybe Marissa, but
that's
good guess.
Yeah, like I mean, I feel like no one has really looked at her as like a true person to get out, or maybe Mark. Maybe I would say Marissa, Mark, or Omarosa.
Mm-hmm.
Those are good guesses.
Those are really good guesses.
Really good guesses. Well, Andy, thank you so much for staying up late with us. We really appreciate all your insight and everything. It was really fun.
Thank you, Andy.
Yeah.
You're the best.
We'll see you on Twitter.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh my gosh, she's great.
So much. Oh, did we?
I don't know if we lost him yet. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Okay. So before we go, I wanted to do a little Chen chatter.
Chen chatter.
The Chen chatter, Takira, is we talk about stuff that Julie has said in the news.
Queen Julie.
Queen Julie.
Queen Julie. Okay, so Julie was asked by Entertainment Weekly, how do you think these celebrities compare to civilians in terms of play? Are they more candid? Are they more hot-tempered? Are they more honest? Okay, before I tell you what she said, what do you guys think? How do you think they're playing as comparing season to season?
I don't think that they are more honest. I think they're very calculated on what they say and a little more reserved. I mean, they might have a moment when they just flip off, but no, I don't think that they're more honest. It's just my take.
Yeah, I agree with that. If anything, I think... I don't know. It's just hard with celebrities. They are celebrities, but you put them in this house, and we forget they're also real people. Like, they're in this house without their hairstylist, their trainer, their PR person. So, like, they really break down and become become normal people. So, I would say that it's probably pretty similar. I could be wrong, but
no, I know the answer, but I will say I think that. I feel like, okay, they went in as celebrities, but I don't see them as celebrities anymore. I see them as house guests, as just any other thing. But anyway, what Julie said, the celebrities quickly became just like any other group of house guests. Oh, how did I know? Wow, I did so well. She said they are playing and they're not concerned about their celebrity image. They're there to compete and win, and I love that. They are normal. I think that's...
Yeah, I think we kind of
surprised.
See it, but I still feel like they reserve a little bit.
I'm surprised. I am, even if they are still reserved, I'm surprised that they kind of let it all go, you know? It doesn't seem like another celebrity version of a show. It seems different than that. It seems like a regular season.
Well, I will say, I think that goes a lot to how they cast it. I think they easily could have got like New York and like a bunch of things, like people that were speculated to be on the show. Lance Bass, and I think it would have been fine, but I think it would have been very different. I think they casted people who are a little bit more of your normal celebrity, who have a family and like all this stuff. So I think that makes a big difference. Had we seen like the people from Rock of Love on there, or Spencer and whatever her name is, Heidi, it'd be a different story.
I wonder how close they were to getting to going that route.
From what I've read and understood, I don't think it ever was going to go that route, because I know they used the same casting director who casts for Dancing with the Stars. Oh. And if you look at this cast compared to Dancing with the Stars, it's very similar. It's like your retired basketball player, your ex-boy band, your kind of older Broadway star. It's not like the MTV stars, because I know a lot of people were thinking it was going to be the Challenge Vendetta people, or they were going to do that crossover, and it really wasn't any of that.
Or even The Amazing Race.
Right. You would think it'd be something.
It's definitely people that kind of need not really maybe need a second chance, but it would help them to have a second chance, a second light to kind of redefine themselves. So that's kind of a trend that I definitely noticed.
Let's hear, what do you think of this season so far? I mean, have you been enjoying it a lot? Are you gonna watch BB20 and
I am. And you know what? I want to see another season of Celebrity Big Brother. So I'm definitely enjoying it. I hate, and I'm kind of played out on the quitters. I think everybody is. So I really hope that we don't see any more of that. But I love it. I mean, like I said, this was a season that kind of drew me in, and it's causing me to go completely backwards on the other seasons. So I'm hooked.
So it's doing its job.
Yeah,
it's
doing its job. But what celebrity do you want to see, like in future? Do you think it'll be an annual thing now, or do you think that? I mean, like they say it might be, but would you like to see that?
I think so for sure. I mean, I definitely don't want it to be like overplayed to where we're like, okay, now we're just like running out of good celebrities to put on, and it turns into that
New York,
I love New York and all of that stuff that's overplayed out. So, but I'm rooting from the jump. I was rooting for Ross, but I honestly think that it is going to be somebody like Marissa or Ari, because Marissa is she's a little unstable mentally. I think she'd break a little easier, so I think Ari is a little bit stronger, but I think it's gonna be between the ones that are kind of sliding under the radar.
Who would you be unhappy about winning?
Guys, don't say it. Don't y'all say James.
I will. Either James or Omarosa. I would. I mean, Omarosa, just because it wouldn't surprise me, but it would surprise me for sure.
Interesting. Who is Shane Dawson? Dylan the Reader 5 says Shane Dawson is extremely rumored, and Trisha Paytas.
Who are these people? Shane Dawson sounds like a boy band, right? A boy band member? Shane Dawson?
Yeah.
Is he in like
Mark?
Hate to see
Dylan the Reader 5. Who is Shane Dawson?
Dylan the Reader 5.
I need to know this. You're leaving me hanging.
YouTube people. Oh, okay, got it.
Okay, so like basically a boy band member, not really, but like.
So oh, no worries. No, sorry. No worries.
Perfect.
We're just But I guess I should have rephrased. Who would you want to see like in future, like who would be the celebrity that you want to see in the Big Brother house more than anyone? Like it could be anyone. We did this last time. We did this last season.
Oh, just any celebrity in Big Brother.
Like who would be great at the game? I'm trying to think of who would be really good. You have to think of someone who's like really calculated.
Right.
Who's a little under the radar. I mean, who could win? Do you have someone?
I just want Kesha to be in there. Guys, I have my reasoning behind this. Okay.
Kesha.
She's been through so much. She would know how to handle this emotional trauma.
But would we want to put her through more emotional trauma?
No, but I'm just saying she could do this. This would be a walk in the park for her.
Yeah.
I think she's gonna do well with the girls. She's about the girl power. She would never in a million years go on Big Brother, but a girl can dream.
Maybe, and I was kind of leaning towards, but one of my friends said Taylor Swift, and we had this whole debacle about that. I mean, she has the sweet face, she can manipulate. Don't get me wrong, Taylor is very strong, and she can cut your throat, and then make you feel bad about you believing that she cut your throat.
Yeah.
So Taylor Swift,
that's good. That's a good one. Let's put her in there with Katy Perry.
They gotta get a big budget to get Sizzle.
Definitely. Yeah, probably wouldn't happen, but whatever.
I'm just trying to think of somebody who's like, there's. I don't know.
Somebody was saying Pink would be good.
Pink would be, that's good.
The twins from Sister would be such a fun
twist. Do the twin twist.
The twin twist would be
that
so fun.
That is really good.
And they just,
Johnny
and I feel like
Manziel,
they'd be
that's
really
not bad.
good.
Oh my gosh, Johnny Manziel in that house would be a hot mess.
Him and Kesha could really form an alliance.
Oh my gosh, they'd be a great alliance. Oh my gosh, Showmance. No, Kesha would not be in the Showmance.
No, Kesha would have to be
all girl alliance.
She'd be all girl alliance all the time. So would Taylor Swift.
Yeah. No, Taylor Swift. Are you kidding me?
I'm joking. I
was like, Bryce, do you listen to her songs?
Just kidding, you guys. Anyway,
it's fine.
All right, well, that's all for us. I think this is it. We've got
guys, one more show.
One more show left. We've got a double eviction on Friday, but we'll be back on Monday for our final season finale wrap up,
where we will have a winner to discuss.
We will have a winner to discuss, and maybe that winner could be here.
Oh, wink, hint, hint.
The power of the wink.
The power of the wink.
Well, we want to thank Andy Herren so much for joining us. You can follow him at Andy Herren on Twitter and Instagram, I think.
Yeah, it's just at Andy Herren.
And we want to thank Takira.
Yeah,
who's here,
did
a great job.
Thank
you for
having me.
Joining us. And I am Bryce McLeay. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter. Please be sure to send us your questions, your comments at BuzzBB, #BuzzBB. And we will be back here on Monday, February 26th at 10 p.m. Takira, Morgan, you go first.
Oh, guys, I do love social media. You can find me at Twitter at Morgan_Willett. If you want to like my picture I just posted tonight, I don't know. Shameless promotion.
Someone just did #Jessa, by the way. Jessa.
Yes, Johnny. Yes, I love it. I love it.
That's great.
Anyways, my Instagram, #Jessa. It's at Morgan_Willett.
Jessa.
Where can they find you?
They can find me, Takira Shabrae, on Instagram and newly to Twitter at Takira_Shabrae.
Thank you guys. That's it for us. We will see you on Monday for the season finale of Celebrity Big Brother After Show.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.